Shalom. Kohala Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to my teachers, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shemel Shai Barakatham to the hopefully elect. And pretty much gonna be another news and a prophecy update because I got this article and a few video clips that I got saved up. But getting right into it, came across this article here. It says Italy opposes national lockdown as mutant Novid strains spread. All right. Because being the fact that pretty much, man. I was watching a video. Um, I was watching a video. Just earlier. I was pretty much putting together this lesson. Pretty much going into how with the whole Novid, how pretty much, man, it's here to stay, man. Because again, as it's been brought out time in, time out, and it's probably going to continue to be brought out until we're not doing these shows anymore, we're not doing these videos anymore. There's no going back to quote unquote normal. All right. Because it's pretty much, man, the cat is out of the bag. I'm not going to say too much on it because don't want to get striked. But nevertheless, man, the cat is out of the bag. This whole Novid pandemic that's going on, man, it's the perfect excuse. It's the perfect scapegoat for these globalists, whatever you want to call them, the deep state, so on, so forth. It's the perfect. This whole pandemic is a perfect scapegoat for these people to usher in their enterprise. All right. So it's not going away, and even more so now, being that there's new variants. All right. You got the UK variant. All right, and all these different variants. Supposedly this whole Novid is mutating. You got mutating variants. Right. And with that being said, because it's of course it's spreading. You're gonna have this is pretty much going to ensue more restrictions, more lockdowns, and things of that nature. All right, because again, something that's going to be more than likely quoted a lot, or it's either going to be brought out or quoted a lot. All right, because now we're in the time where they're in that spirit of peace and safety. All right, slowly but surely. It appears that they're opening back up society, like Texas. I think Mississippi, a few other places. They're pretty much lifting all the mandates, mask mandates, and restrictions and things of that nature, and are opening back up 100% capacity, full capacity, so on and so forth. So people are in that the spirit of peace and safety. Everyone's thinking it's all good, all right? But sure enough, man, all right, because like this article here, man, Italy going back on lockdown, as well as other places. Other places are going back on lockdown. All right, a third wave is coming. Another surge is coming. All right, they were talking about how because we're coming into spring break time, and fears for fears of another surge in this whole Novid thing. All right, because one thing we've been saying all the apostles, all the elders, and all the elder brothers, man, they've been saying it. Pretty much going into how with these lockdowns, man, and these restrictions. All right, because it's through the draconian measures. All right, this is how they're pretty much going to pretty much get the people into pretty much submitting themselves into this I'm not even going to say the word. I'll just use the term that their enterprise. All right, this whole beast system of doing things. All right, it's going to be through the draconian laws and draconian measures, and I might touch on that a little bit. I don't have any precepts lined up because I'm on the job. What's 3:01 a.m. I'm just on the plantation. So I don't really have anything lined up. So whatever the Spirit brings out. But getting into this article again, it says Italy imposes national lockdown as mutant Novid strain spread. It says Italy's cabinet has approved new restrictions on business and movement that will be in place between March 15th to April 6th. According to a statement from the government, regions with more than 250 cases per 100K people will face full lockdown measures. It says, in other European news, the head of the Robert Koch Institute, Germany's leading health authority, warned Friday that 13 days into Germany's latest semi-lockdown, Nova cases remain high and that the country may already be at the start of a third wave. And again, this is going to be the case, pretty much everywhere, man. All right. Because again, this Nova is not going away. All right. They pretty much, the video I was talking about is pretty much going into how, like with all diseases or whatever, all right, all like with the cold and all this other, all the other things that are out there, they never really get fully eradicated. They just pretty much they stick around. And they were talking about how animals can carry it now. So this pretty much, man, this thing is going to be in our ecosystem. Just traveling, through our ecosystem. Because again, obviously the people get it now. Animals supposedly they can get it. All right, so it's not going anywhere, man. So pretty much, because pretty much to keep this thing under control or whatever. All right, again, this is why they're gonna have all these draconian measures in place to stop this thing from spreading, so on and so forth, man. All right, so this thing's not going anywhere. There's no going back to normal. All right. But soon people are gonna find it out, man. Because we sound like a broken record now, but people are gonna find out, man. And because the scriptures, what does it talk about, man? It talks about how that day, man, is gonna catch him as a thief in the night, man. A sudden destruction is getting ready to take place, man. All right, because something I've just been telling people, man, just to really be on the lookout. Here it is that they're extending the stay for the what do you call it, the National Guard troops, right? They're prolonging their stay for another 2 months, I think they said. I think they were talking about how they want to keep the National Guard troops here until September, if I'm not mistaken. And that should raise red flags, because of course they want to pretty much use the military, pretty much for their leisure or whatever, But anyways, reading on, it says hours after President Joe Biden delivered his first prime-time address in the U.S., the Italian government seemingly marked the one-year anniversary of the start of Italy's own bloody spring by calling for an emergency lockdown amid growing fears about the threat posed by mutated Novid strains. This is just me speaking as a man, because it's no coincidence, all these places are going back on lockdown or whatnot, and it's no coincidence, as far, because, we just hit the 1 year mark as far as this whole pandemic thing, and, you just look back on the past year or whatnot and see all the things that took place, and here it is, we're coming to the 1 year mark, and it can pretty much let's see what the next year holds, man. Lord's will, we're not here another year, but yeah, man, because again, basically all in all, man, expect more shutdowns, lockdowns, restrictions, draconian measures, but let me read on, because I'm trying to go through this fairly quickly. It says the Mario Draghi-led Italian government leaked a draft of its latest closure order to Reuters. According to the plan, Italy will be placed under lockdown during the Easter holiday weekend as the Italian government works to stem a mutated-inspired rise in new Novid cases. According to the order, Italy will see non-essential shops closed from April 3rd to April 5th, with people only allowed to leave their homes for work, health, or emergency reasons. It's expected the decree could send many regions, including population centers, Rome and Milan, into full lockdown. As many as 14 of Italy's 20 regions could face the most restrictive controls. Ultimately, two-thirds of Italians could be affected. It says Draghei's cabinet was due to start meeting at 11:30 local time on Friday to decide whether to automatically designate regions as high-risk red zones if they have more than 250 weekly cases per 100,000 inhabitants, according to the draft of a new decree seen by Bloomberg. The draft is subject to change. Yeah, of course it's subject to change because they're pretty much the ones controlling the narrative of things. They're the ones that putting all the numbers out there. So I mean, it's nothing for them to exaggerate the numbers and pretty much put whatever they want to feed the people. Because you got a lot of people. I've just been watching a lot of clips, man, and for the most part, I mentioned this before, man. You do got individuals that are pretty much waking up to the bullshit. All right. But you do have individuals out there that are really they're still drinking that juice, man, and they think that hey, man, they pretty much believe in everything that whatever the government's telling them, and these different issues or whatnot. People are for it. Like in Argentina, I think it's Argentina. You got people protesting, not the actual jabs, but they're protesting basically because pretty much the elites. Well, I'm not gonna say the elites, but like the rich, they're getting the pretty much getting the jab first, and like the Argentinians, they're protesting because they pretty much want to be treated fairly. They think they should pretty much be eligible for getting the jabs first and whatnot. So they're actually protesting. Because again, you got the pretty much the rich in line to get the jabbed up first, and the Argentinians over there, they're protesting against that. They want to get jabbed up as well. So just to show you how far gone people are, and especially them down there in Argentina, because those are our people. But nevertheless, reading on, it says the draft decree also said that as of Monday, curbs will be tightened in the country's low-risk yellow regions, where movement between towns will be severely limited and restaurants and bars will be closed, along with nationwide measures. Italy collaborates restrictions in its 20 regions according to a 4-tier color-coded system: white, yellow, orange, and red, based on infection levels and revised every week. All right. So, again, you can expect that to, in some way, shape, or form, make its way to the shores of America. All right. Color-coded zones and things of that nature. All right. Something, I often bring out, man, with, like certain checkpoints and stuff like that. Show me your papers, being able to travel, go to and fro. All right. That's in the scriptures, man. Just look for this real quick. 2nd Esdras 15, and because 2nd Esdras 15:7, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. Why? Because again, with going back to these different checkpoints and stuff like that. All right. Let's say trying to enter different zones or different provinces or whatever the case may be, and let's say you didn't get the jab or whatnot, you won't be able to enter into certain provinces, certain cities or whatnot. I mean, don't think it's a far-fetched idea to start seeing things like this develop in the near future. All right. Because now the talk, and if the spirit is on me, I plan on doing a video on this. But now the talk right now is being that for individuals that that have taken the jab, all right, now they're pretty much going to get like these special privileges, I'll say it like that, right? To where, they don't have to wear a mask, all right? They're going to be able to pretty much congregate with people, and stuff like that, you know? So yeah, man, like I said, man, don't think it's don't think it's strange when, seeing stuff like this in the near future, coming up to a checkpoint, and, them offering you a jab on the spot. If you refuse a jab, I mean, they can lock you up. They can throw you in one of these FEMA camps or whatever. All right. And this is what's coming, man. All right. The hour of temptation, man, is coming, man. The stage is being set. All right. This is already taking place over there in Israel with the Novid passports. I think that's what they're calling them. Right. For people that basically, got jabbed up or whatever, they're going to be able to enter into certain venues and things of that nature. Because again, being that, certain places, they're starting to open the society back up. So it's all being strategically, when you look at it from retrospect, it's all strategically being, things are strategically being put in, set in place, man. All right. But going back to this real quick, or actually that might have been the end of it. So yeah, that was the end of that, man. All right. Says Italy's new order is expected to be approved later on Friday. So yeah, that was it on that. All right, I'm gonna go into some of these clips that I got saved up. All right, make sure this thing is recording. All right, so this is just another one of those things. As far as lockdowns and things of that nature. I'm gonna play this clip real quick.
In 1936. A brilliant Polish doctor discovered what she believed to be the biggest biblical break.
Shifting our focus now to New Zealand, where Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced that the country's biggest city, Auckland, will go into a 7-day lockdown from early morning on Sunday after a new case of COVID-19 was detected on Saturday. Now, this comes 2 weeks after Auckland's nearly 2 million residents were plunged into a snap 3-day lockdown when a family of 3 were diagnosed with the transmissible UK variant of the new coronavirus.
However, and this, UK variant, all right, this is one of those variants, they're saying it's more contagious. I think they're saying it's more deadly or whatever. All right, so again, with that, and because this whole virus is mutating, all right, again, expect more restrictions, tighter restrictions, harsher and more draconian measures. All right.
However, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern
because this is they went back on lockdown. Just I think they said it was just one case, one case of the Novid, and they shut that shit back down completely.
Clarified that the Saturday's new case is not linked to the previously discovered family cluster, thus forcing the government to implement the lockdown. Health officials, who could not immediately confirm how the person became infected, said genome sequencing of the new infection was underway, and the patient developed symptoms on Tuesday and is regarded as having been potentially infectious since Sunday. The lockdown with level 3 restrictions will allow people to leave home only for essential shopping and essential work. Public venues will remain closed, and restrictions in the rest of the country will be tightened to level 2 restrictions, including limits on public gatherings. Now, New Zealand is one of the most successful developed nations in controlling the spread of the pandemic. The country has seen just over 2,000 cases of coronavirus since the start of the pandemic. We are now available.
So yeah, man, this is what's going on, man. All right, and one thing, I often, start reminding, to anyone watching this, especially if you're a new listener, new believer, all right, pay attention to what's going on in these different nations and whatnot, all right, because again, slowly but surely, because pretty much a lot of stuff that's going on in these other nations, man, it's like a beta test for what's going to take place over here in America, all right. It's just that, the like the saying goes in the world, man, saving the best for last, right? Where America's being saved for last, all right, because this place is going to cast the worst judgment, all right, because this is the most wicked kingdom on the earth, so again, it's just good to pay attention and keep up with a lot of stuff that's going on in these other nations, because there's a lot of things going on in these other nations like they're not reporting on, especially on the mainstream media, and this is why a lot of people are starting to watch the Hebrew Israelites, all right, because pretty much the Hebrew Israelites, man, been like the what do you call it, what's the term for it, man? Basically, like the Hebrew Israelites, man, been like the like another news outlet, all right? Because again, a lot of stuff that's going on, they're not reporting on in the mainstream media, right? And they're the same, as far as the mainstream media, they're the one that's putting all this propaganda and fear mongering into the people and whatnot, because they're really playing with people's emotions and whatnot, like with before they signed the whole what do you call it, the stimulus bill thing, right? They were playing, they were hanging they were hanging that shit in front of the people like a with the like a carrot at the end of a fishing pole, man. They were dangling it in front of the people, because they're playing with the people's emotions, all right, but nevertheless, all right, pay attention to what's going on in these other nations, man, because again, slowly but surely it's going to make its way over here to America. Definitely keep an eye on places like New Zealand. There was another place. Oh damn, I forgot. It might have been New Zealand. Damn, I forgot what it was. But there's it might actually be New Zealand. I'm not sure, but because a lot of these, some of these places they're using the QR codes, like you have to scan to basically what do you the contact tracing and whatnot. When you enter into certain establishment like the grocery store or whatever, you have to scan, right? And whatnot. So just different stuff that's going on, all right. That again, it's good to be aware of, because again, man, when stuff comes down here over here in the Americas, man, it's going to come hard, man. When you read Isaiah 59:19, it says, the enemy shall come in like a flood, because when it comes, man, it's coming hard, and again, because it's going to catch a lot of people, like the scripture says, man. I keep quoting it, like a thief in the night, man. People, they're not going to know what to do or where to go, People are going to be in a state of confusion, and being that, with that being said, people, when you're in that position, basically of panic, all right, and you're trapped in a corner or whatever, you're more than likely prone to make decisions that is not the best in your interest, all right. So this is why, again, it's just good to stay on top of these things, pay attention to what's going on in these different nations or whatnot, all right, because they're pretty much like beta tests of what's going to take place over here, But yeah, man, again, so this place, New Zealand, man, they pretty much went back on lockdown over one case, just one case of the Novid, all right. And I, it's just funny because like I mentioned this before, man. You read some of these comments, man. A lot of people are pretty much not falling for the bullshit. All right, like I said, you do have some individuals that they're with it, with whatever the government says. But for the most part, man, at least from what I'm seeing and what I've been looking at, more people are not falling for this shit, man. All right, So another thing, man, when you watch these videos, man, look, just take some time out to go through the comments. Like this comment here, all right, it says 2021 lockdown coming soon again, because people know, man. All right, like I keep saying, the cat is out of the bag, and Esau, he's pretty much what he does, man, is very predictable. He's so predictable, all right. That's why I said, man, a lot of this stuff, and start with the apostles and elders, man. They've been saying it. They've been calling it up even before this whole pandemic started, man. So yeah, man, it's just funny because people ain't stupid, man. People are waking up, you know. But nevertheless, with the more restrictions and the more lockdowns and things of that nature, all right. Because like I said, people they feel that their rights are being violated. All right. Slightly bear with me. People feel that their rights are being violated, in which they are, you know, and that's why even more so, like in some places, like in actually, I don't know if this is the one, but in places like in Paris and Germany, all right, they're protesting against the whole Novid restrictions and things of that nature, which that's going to lead to rioting and seditions and things of that nature. Because going back to the video that I mentioned earlier, I was watching earlier, pretty much the whole world is fatigued, man, and people are tired, man, and people are so desperate to get back to normal. So if they come back with more of these shutdowns, man, you can see, people aren't going to fall for it, man. Here it is, people are losing jobs and whatnot, you know, and again, as they crack down more and more with these restrictions and things of that nature, man, people they're not gonna go for it, and this is going to lead to second Esdras 15 and 15, which I'm gonna probably get that, but I'm gonna play this real quick.
Good news in the fight against coronavirus. More than 82 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine administered so far in the United States. That's according to the CDC.
We're now up to about 2 million vaccinations per day. That means every day that goes by, every week that goes by, you have more and more people protected.
With more shots in arms, more states are rolling back COVID-19 safety measures.
After April the 9th, I will not keep the mask order in effect.
Alabama joining 15 states with no statewide mask mandate.
And I'll say it again, I think that's ill-advised.
Texas will do the same on March 10th, a move President Biden calls a big mistake.
Exactly when would be the right time? Would it be when everybody gets a vaccine? Will it be when COVID is completely over?
Health experts say yes, it's key to wait for more people to get vaccinated and for the number of daily new infections to fall.
We'll be there eventually, but to do this now, it's 10 steps back from 2 steps forward.
Some officials doubling down on safety measures in light of dropped mask mandates across the U.S.
Please continue to wear a mask. What some other states are doing is reckless. We've seen them do it before, and they paid the price.
So you see, this could possibly or definitely lead to because the scriptures talk about how a kingdom that's divided against itself shall not let me get it real quick, and this is what this is could lead to, because here it is, you got certain states opening up against certain recommendations and things of that nature, and this could cause a division within the United States. All right, because again, some states can be with it, some states aren't going to be with it. And this all ties back to where it talks about how the Lord will mingle a perverse spirit. So Matthew's Matthew's 12 and 25, it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right, because Satan can't cast out Satan. All right, and you again, because you got pretty much because also on another note, the scriptures talk about how the Egyptian against Egyptian, all right, neighbor against neighbor, all right, because pretty much all in all, man, you're gonna have all type of civil unrest out here in the streets of America, man, and it's been like that for the past year, but it just hasn't escalated to that, to on a major level yet, all right, but nevertheless it's getting there, all right, because at one point, you know, even with these whole face masks, all right, you know, you try to go walking into a store without a face mask, man, people looking at you funny, all right, people, you know, you might have an individual say something to you and it can cause strife, all right, and you know, that's just one of those things on a low level, you know, as far as these face masks, you know, because you got people that are for it and you got people that they know it's full of shit and they're not with it. You know, you had Edomites going running up in you know, different stores like Target and stuff, you know, pretty much banding together and you know, pretty much protesting against the face mask or whatnot, you know. So again, you know, because more and more you're gonna start seeing this division, all right. But even more so, all right, bringing out the fact that, you know, certain states, you know, they're like Texas and Tennessee and other places, man, they're starting to just say to hell with it, and you know, open up, man, at 100% capacity, you know, and that could be a very good excuse for them to for this third wave, so to say, that's getting ready to, you know, ensue, you know. So as they open up, man, you know, as they open back up, man, and you know, they're, you know, and being that, you know, you got spring break coming up, like I mentioned before, all right, that could be the perfect excuse with this, you know, mutated variant, all right. Everything's open back up in certain states, and you know, because they did that, and you know, now, you know, this you know, new variant, it spread, you know. Now we got to go back on lockdown. We got to go back on restrictions, even tighter restrictions, even more draconian measures now, you know. So you could just see the play on of things, man. You know, because like I said, Esau, he's very strategic with all these things, man, and how they do these things, you know. And again, you know, because that's going to lead to, because again, just when people thought, like the scripture said, man, just when people thought to be in good case. All right, let me get that real quick before I get this in second Edges, the 15th. Where would that be at? It might be in second Edges 15. Bear with me as I look for this real quick. Let me good case. All right, because again, you know, people are in that spirit of peace and safety, man. People think that it's all good, man. They think that, you know, things are going to get better or whatever the case may be. All right, but again, don't let that day catch you as a thief in the night. All right, because when that day comes, these people are they're totally unprepared. Just, you know, a small example of that, but a great example. Look what happened out there in Texas, man. All right, you know, those Texans, they were completely unprepared for what took place with the whole blackout or whatnot. All right, and that's going to happen on a major scale throughout all of America. All right, you know, and those Texans, man, they didn't think that stuff could happen to them, but nevertheless it did. You know, and that's the thing, man. You got to be ready for the you know, for the unprepared. If you stay ready, you don't have to be ready. You know, and ultimately, you know, it's just gonna go back to putting your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, ultimately, all right, because you know, some things we can't prepare for, you know, and this is why we have to put our trust and faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But reading this in 2 Esdras 16 and 21, it says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case." All right, so again, you know, things are starting to open back up. Slowly but surely, all right. Well, in some states they're already at 100% capacity. They're fully open, all right. You know, the stimulus checks is coming in, all right. They're talking about I don't know what it's called, but basically each month they're gonna give like and this is something later on down the road, and I think they want to start doing this year, but providing a certain amount of money for children in each family or something like that. But basically a steady income each month, a monthly income. All right. That's something that they're in talks about doing. All right. You know, so with all this, man, people are thinking themselves to be in good case, right? Peace and safety, right? Reading on, it says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth. And that word, when you break down the word evil, all right, it goes into bad times. All right, because that's exactly what we're heading in. We're heading into some very extreme bad times. All right. It says sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, like I was saying, man, because, when all these things happen, man, people it's going to catch you off guard, man. People, they're not going to know what to do, where to go. All right, here it is. These people, they put their trust in Joe Biden, and, he's not going to have the answers. All right, because when the whole thing took place in Texas, all right, people were crying out, where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Right. And the only reason why he actually went out there, all right, because people were calling him out on it, But when it's all said and done, man, because what people, especially our people, they got to understand, man, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians, neither Joe Biden or Kamala Harris gives a damn about you. All right. And when it's all said and done, man, on the scripture say, man, because you put your trust in these people, man, you put your trust down in Egypt, which is modern day America. All right. Spiritual name for America is Egypt. All right. That trust is going to be to your shame. All right. And again, because again, you're going to be left out there, man, in a state of confusion. You're not going to know where to go, who to run to, or nothing, because that day is going to completely catch you off guard. So yeah, man, that was it on that. Going back to, well, actually, let me play this clip real quick. And this is, I think this is the last clip. All right. Because again, with all the, just when, everyone thinks themselves to be in good case, and boom, they come up with all these restrictions again, and more jobs lost. And because I don't know if you're paying attention, but gas is starting to go up. All right. Make sure this is still recording. Gas, if you're paying attention, gas is starting to go back up. All right. You're going to have because again, with all this printing of money, man, you're going to have hyperinflation, right? You're going to slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing the food prices skyrocket. All right. If there's even food in the, supermarkets or whatever. All right. Because there is a famine, a looming famine. All right. A famine will take place. All right. But, with all a combination of all these things, man, which goes back to what I just read. All right. People being left in a state of confusion because people think it's all good right now. They think it's all good in the hood, but little do these people know, man. All right. I'm going to play this real quick here. Like I was saying, with the combination of all these things, man, people, they're going to get fed up. All right. Shit's about to get real out here. But I'm going to play this clip.
Je me demandais, est-ce que c'est un médecin que vous aimeriez avoir? La seule chose, c'est de dévoiler et de démasquer les gens qui sont pas. On a quasiment et souvent tué.
Yeah, that wasn't a good video. It was actually another video wanted to play, but nevertheless, just showing, because like I said, this is just one of a few cases in different nations, different places. They're protesting these COVID restrictions and the COVID measures. All right, the COVID lockdowns and with the whole jab passports, people are protesting. People are starting to protest against it. All right, because one thing is going to lead to another, and this is going to take place. 2nd Esdras 15. In 15, it says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another." Like I quoted earlier, all right, the Egyptian against Egyptian, because the Lord is mingling a perverse spirit. All right. This is why the scriptures talk about how the love of many waxing cold, man. All right, because it's about to be it's going to become a dog eat dog world out here. Like I said before, man, there's going to be a not only is there going to be a lack of food and supplies in these these stores or whatnot, but the prices are going to skyrocket. All right, and this is why I was saying, man, this is going to become a dog eat dog world out here, man, because it's going to pretty much become an environment of survival of the fittest. All right, because eventually, man, it's going to get to a point where, man, people are going to start taking what the next man got. They're going to start, they're going to rob their neighbor for what, the next man in his family got. They're going to rob them and whatnot. All right, because that's how, again, like the scripture saying, man, we're coming into evil times, man. We're coming into very bad times. All right, and this is why, because when it says for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, all right, and the sword is basically going against, is talking about, a sword is basically just an instrument of destruction. All right. It says that one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right. Again, going into those instruments of destruction. All right. Again, expect more protests and riots and things of that nature. Verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. All right. And something that's been brought out, because, again, people are going to start taking matters into their own hands, man. All right. Here it is, these politicians and governors and mayors, they're supposed to be for the people, but, soon people are going to find out that these guys are nothing but a bunch of greedy dogs, man. All right. And people are going to say the hell with the local authorities and the government and whatnot. They're going to start, storming these buildings and whatnot. All right. What took place on January 6th, the storming of the Capitol, man, that was a small prelude to what's going to, really be going down out here. Because like I said, man, these America is about to go up in flames, man. All right. And, again, because people are going to start taking matters into their own hands, man. And like I mentioned before, because a lot of this stuff is already taking place in other nations, in other countries. And this is why I said before, man, pay attention to what's going on in these countries, man. All right, there's a famine going on somewhere in I think it's South Africa, somewhere in Africa. There's already famine going on, as well as other places. But like I said, a lot of the mainstream media, they're not reporting on it. But it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. And again, people are going to start just saying the hell with it and taking matters into their own hands. All right. Because what else are you going to be able to do in that day? All right. And again, because one thing's going to lead to another. All right. Like I mentioned before, they pretty much extended the stay of the National Guard, because they know all hell's getting ready to break loose. All right. So they got them out there at least another 2 months. All right. But just like with the whole restrictions, when they first started, just a year ago, all right, they got to go on what was it, a 2 to 4 week lockdown. It turned into months. All right. It could be the same way with the National Guard troops. All right. They extended their stay for another 2 months. Who's to say they can extend it for another 2 months and then another 3 months. All right. Because they know, again, they know all hell's going to get, they know it's going to get bad out here. All right. And again, one thing is going to lead to another, and it's going to lead to this, even though I read it earlier, but I read it again. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because certain cities are going to be cut off, going to have checkpoints, different colored zones, martial law. All right. A combination of all these things, man, and like I said, because the people are already tired. People are fatigued, man. People are desperate to get back to normal. People are losing their shit, man. People are catching all type of mental illnesses and whatnot because of this whole pandemic. All right. But nevertheless, this is what's getting ready to take place, man. And even more so here on the shores of America. All right. So again, this is why, like I often bring up, man, it's important to stay prayed up, man. Learn, study the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. All right. Because again, like I always say, man, calling on God and Jesus, all these other false gods, Allah, Buddha, and all these other false gods, man. All right. It's not going to be to no travail on your behalf. You know, it's only going to be to your detriment. But calling on the true names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know, it's going to be a defense for you. All right. You know, so just some update and prophecy what's going on. Hopefully, you were edified. Once again, I'm giving all credit to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, my teachers. All right. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.